Welcome, sweet friends, to the channel Frugal Money Saver. My name is Emmy. My husband is Paul. We're an early retirement, debt and mortgage-free couple living in the state of New York, actually the Jefferson Valley area. And our channel just shows you how to have a full, abundant life, yet spend less money. We've got a packed video for you today, so we're going to get started. The first thing Paul and I did was we wanted to use our kilowatt meter to see how much energy our air fryer was using. So what we did was we took about a 6-pound fryer chicken, a whole chicken, and we cooked it in our air fryer. Now, normally we would cook something like that in the stove and use quite a bit of propane to do it and electricity. So we thought, let's try it in the air fryer and see how much it costs to cook a whole chicken and how will it come out? How tasty will it be? So we're gonna turn this camera around and we're going to get into the kitchen first thing. We are going to be cooking a 6-pound chicken. This is a fryer, and we're going to use our little kilowatt machine to see exactly how much it costs. So all I did was I took some olive oil and a bunch of spices. I took garlic powder, onion powder, paprika, salt, pepper, and olive oil and butter, and just rubbed the whole chicken inside, outside, front, and back. Now what we're going to do is we're going to set the air fryer at 360 degrees. We're going to put it on 360 degrees. I'm going to do it for 45 minutes. And then maybe we'll flip it. That's what I'm thinking. We want the internal temperature to be about 170 degrees. So for 45 minutes, we're just gonna let this cook. Paul, you wanna show them what we're doing with the kilowatt?
So there's a kilowatt, that's the time, let's see. Voltage, 118 volts here at the house. Amps, 14.3. Watts, about 1693, so almost 1700 watts. So we'll figure out what this is gonna be. We're going to set it up on kilowatts. This will tell us how much it's going to cost at 10 cents a kilowatt.
1 hour and 11 minutes later, voila! Look at this. It is perfect. We just took the temperature and it is done. You want to make sure it is at least 170 degrees. We cooked it for 45 minutes and then we flipped it so the breast was down and the back was up. And we cooked it that way for about 15 minutes. And then we put it back in again with the breast up for about 10 minutes more. And this is what it looks like. Amazing. So we're gonna cut into it and see how it came out. Look at how beautiful and juicy this is. Oh my goodness, this was effortless. So let's check our little kilowatt meter. Here is the time, 1 hour and 12 minutes. And we used 1.30 kilowatts. Just a couple of hints if you cook a whole chicken in an air fryer. We have the Power XL, which means this is a large air fryer basket. You never want to cook a whole chicken in an air fryer if any part of it is sticking up outside the basket and can hit the upper heating element. So it's got to sit within the basket. And the other tip is, as the chicken cooks, the grease goes to the bottom. After the chicken is done and you remove it, make sure you let the oil cool. There's a well underneath. This comes out, and then the oil will sit on the bottom there. So you have to be very careful that that oil does not spill out or leak out through any of the holes. You need to let that grease cool, and then when you pour it out, you have to pour it out an area where there are no holes. I know that sounds silly, but there are so many holes in the air fryer, and that hot oil, if you tip it, can come right out So just some tips if you're cooking a whole chicken in the air fryer. That was a total win. We cooked the chicken for a little over an hour. It was about 6 pounds. We used 1.3 kilowatts, as you saw. It cost us basically about 13 cents to cook a 6-pound chicken at 10 cents a kilowatt. Oh my goodness. I think that is the way to go. We love our air fryer. We use it a lot. We use it to reheat leftovers, to cook frozen food like French fries, things like that. We're always using it. And obviously it's a great economical choice when it comes to cooking with a smaller appliance right now, with these costs being what they are. Now, what else did we do this past weekend? We did a really wonderful DIY. We live in an older home. It was built in the 1940s. Over time, we have renovated this 1940s home. But there was one area that we just didn't get to, and that was our walk-in closet in our bedroom. We would paint it every couple of years, mop the floor, but we never really got in, took everything out, including the flooring, redid the ceiling. So we decided this past weekend that's what we were going to do because we had everything we needed. We had a leftover gallon of paint from when we painted the living room at the little house in Carolina. And do you remember the vinyl flooring that Paul did the DIY outdoor table with? Well, we still had some of that vinyl flooring left. And if you haven't seen that video where Paul does the DIY on our outdoor table, I will link it down below in the description box. You have to see it. It was so creative. So we had everything we needed. So we got down and dirty and did the entire closet over the weekend. I'm going to show you a before picture because we keep it real. Be kind, okay? In the comments, be kind. That's all I'm saying. You know we love you, we share with you, but we expect the same respect that we would give you back. So be kind. So let's turn this camera around and see what we did over the weekend. Here's the floor in the closet. As we mentioned, our house was built in the 40s, so this flooring needs to be removed and thrown away. We do have racks in here and bars, so we're literally going to take everything apart, wipe it down, repaint, and then hopefully we'll have a beautiful spanking brand new walk-in closet. We ripped up the floor, the 1940s linoleum, and there is concrete underneath, which is great. We wiped down all the walls. We wiped down everything. We are starting to paint now, and this is just going to be such a closet refresh. So exciting to just have this done. We're working on the floor right now. Do you all remember the DIY Paul did where he took a piece of linoleum and he fixed our outdoor table? Well, guess what? The rest of that linoleum is coming in super handy right now. Look at how lovely this looks. Yay! So we'll keep you posted. So far, this is where we're at. I am so thrilled with how this floor came out. Paul did such a beautiful job. That little piece of vinyl has turned out to be such a great frugal resource. First the table, now we were able to do the whole closet floor with it. It looks beautiful. Well, it's time to put our closet back together. Oh, yeah. What a difference. Yay. We did invest at Job Lot in this shelving unit. And we put this up against the wall. This way we keep our shoes off the bottom of the floor. And we have total room here. So this works out perfect. Oh my goodness. Look at this. We even have empty shelves. It looks so lovely, clean, neat, everything's done. This was a great declutter project. I am feeling so good about that closet now. Everything is fresh and new, and the floor, I can't tell you, it's beautiful. It looks like tile when you look down at it. Paul did such a great job. He really did. And it's done. We put everything back. Guess how many bags are going to Goodwill? We decluttered 5 grocery bags of stuff going to Goodwill. So I feel good about that as well. And someone else will get to enjoy some of our clothing and shoes and scarves and things like that. So it worked out really well. Now let's talk finances for a minute. Let's talk about some real life budget struggles. You have them, we have them. It's real life. So what can we do to get on top of these struggles? They're not going to change. If anything, they're just going to keep increasing. Let me give you an example. Paul and I just got the dreaded notice about our health insurance. We got an email saying, please don't pay January's payment for your health care because we don't know the cost as of yet. Right away, we know it's going to go up. For those of you who are new here, we are too young for Medicare. So we pay privately through Paul's job for health insurance. Unfortunately, it is so expensive. It takes about 1/3 of Paul's pension a year to pay this, not counting all our other bills. So this year, we're going to have to seriously look and see what other healthcare offers are out there for us. We may have to even look at other insurance companies. Our whole frugal goal is to not ever have to take money out of the bank. Paul and I are savers. We put money away in the bank. And our goal is not to ever have to go in to that savings account for daily living expenses. We know there is a very strong possibility that our health insurance has gone up even more now. So we're really going to have to look at what our alternative choices are for this healthcare if it goes up more again in January. Hey, maybe they'll surprise us and the price came down. I don't think so, but one can hope, right? If you are new to my channel and you don't have a budget or you're not familiar with budgeting, what I am going to do is underneath this video in the description box, I will link our video on how to create a budget from scratch. And hopefully that will be super helpful for you. And when you budget, you have to look at your daily expense tracker. And if you are not doing that, please let me encourage you to do that. Keep track of every penny you spend so you know exactly where your money is going. If you don't do that expense tracker, money is just slipping through your fingers that you may not be aware of. So keep that expense tracker, even if it's a notebook in your car, in the glove compartment, in your pocketbook, track your spending. You will be amazed at how much little frivolous extras go into that expense tracker. Now you can look at your expense tracker. Maybe there are things there that you can actually cut back on. Getting your eyebrows waxed, nails. Can you cut back on your clothing and accessory budget? You have to look at these extra expenses and say, where can I actually cut some corners? Something that I really want to emphasize is constantly look at your budget with fresh eyes. Look at it new every week, every month, whenever you do your budgeting, and say, okay, this is where I see that I was kind of frivolous in my spending. Or, wow, I did really good cutting back in this category this week. And when you keep revisiting your budget, because a budget is not something that you make once and never look at it again. It is ever changing. Every time you get a bill in and it has increased, you need to go back to your budget, look at it again. Hopefully there are little miscellaneous categories that you can pull from, meaning some non-essential purchases that you can pull from. So that would be getting your nails done, getting your hair done, your clothing wardrobe, your accessories, whatever it might be. You're dining out. Possibly by cutting back on those categories, those non-essential categories, you will find the money to be able to put into these ever-rising costs. Yes, for right now, you may need to do without some of these non-essential purchases, and you can figure out a budget that works perfectly for you. But again, it's ongoing, it's ever changing, and you need to be able to look at it and say, this works, this doesn't. When we retired, we started YouTube as a little extra income coming in. As time went on and things got more expensive, we realized, yeah, this is something that will work for us. We can do it from home. We do live a frugal life. We just share our everyday lives with you. And it has been such a blessing to us to be able to connect with you all and share our lives. So what else did we do this weekend? I went and pulled out my heavy winter quilt. We have had such a mild autumn, but now that's all changed. Our days, the highs are in the 40s and the lows are in the 20s. So what did I do? I got our big heavy bed blanket comforter out. I washed it and look what I did with it. We've got the heavy quilt drying out here on the clothesline. It's cold, but it's clear and the wind is blowing, so this will dry beautifully. And we're just going to add another comforter to our bed, make us toasty warm. As many of you know, we do have a wood-burning fireplace insert, and we use this as an alternate source of heat during the winter. And this is the first fire, which is November 14th of the season, which is really late for us, but we're so thankful. So now, today's question of the day. What is your real life budget struggle? Now, for us, like I said, it is our health insurance. We don't want to let it go. So at this point, we may have to even look at other insurance companies and leave the Cobra plan we're with Paul's company and see what else is out there. And I'm sure we all have these issues right now. You may be struggling with something totally different. You may struggle with going out to eat too often, or overbuying in the grocery store, or whatever it may be. That may be a struggle you have right now. Leave that down below in the comments, please, and tell us how you're dealing with it. What are you doing with that struggle? How are you managing? Where are you cutting back? Is this something you can cut back on? So please share down in the comments below. It will not only encourage Paul and I, but our viewers as well. So we thank you for sharing this time with us. We hope this video was encouraging. We hope it was helpful. We ask if you'd please take a minute and give this a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. And by all means, don't forget that comment. We ask you to be well. We ask you to be safe. And above all, we wish you blessings. Until our next video, may God bless you.